Good morning, and welcome to the latest episode of Vincent Vision. Watcha! Look! I'm wearing a sweater. It is 66 degrees on this beautiful, beautiful morning here at Hollywood Studios. Today, we're going to be doing a video that I've been wanting to do for some time, and I figured, well, it's finally time to do it. What I wanted to do today was go to Galaxy's Edge and show you guys how I spend time at Galaxy's Edge. You know, it's definitely my favorite land in all of Disney. I think it's the coolest thing they've done. I've spent countless hours here, and obviously you guys know I like it very much, but I don't think I've actually made a video where I show you all the things I like about it. Consider today sort of like my guide to Galaxy's Edge. How to have the best Vincent time at Galaxy's Edge on Batu. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty good day already. I'm wearing a sweater for what feels like the first time in 2020. It's beautiful weather. I got a good feeling about this. I hope. I made it just in time to the park. It's about 9:55 now, which means we've got 5 minutes until they give out boarding groups for Rise of the Resistance. And of course, what is an experience at Galaxy's Edge without getting to ride Rise of the Resistance? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys what I do to try and get the best boarding group possible. It's the first thing we're gonna get out of the way because it's the first thing that happens when you show up to the park. So first things first, obviously, get here early. I got here to the parking lot entrance at like 9:20, and I'm in the park at about 9:51 is when I got in there. So it can take a little bit of time to park your car. So if you want to be one of the first few people in, get here early. As soon as you get into the park, get off the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is not going to do you any favors during this. If you have good data and you're in an area that has good data for your phone, perfect. Use that. I think that's going to serve you better in getting a higher number. But if you stay on that Disney Wi-Fi, everyone else who's on the Disney Wi-Fi is going to get bogged you down, and you're going to get a later number. And then third, find an isolated area like this, right around this corner over here. This is actually where I got my boarding group 1, and I've only ever tried to get a group here that one time, so I'm gonna be in this corner over here today and see if this is like my lucky spot, you know? I'm gonna put the screen up here so you can see what you want to do. Basically, my rule of thumb is when it gets closer to that time, like 9:57, 9:58, I watch on my Apple Watch here, I count the seconds as they go down, and then I wait right over here on this page, on the home page. When this hits 10 right here, I click join as soon as I can. It takes you to the next page, and hopefully it loads by then, and hopefully you got a pretty good group for Rise of the Resistance. So it is almost showtime. We are gonna jump in, and wish me luck, I guess. Here we go. All right, it's showtime. Here we go. Now we go. Okay, we got one. Whew. We got boarding group 28. Not terrible. It says it's about a 145-minute wait. Obviously, you want to get like at least like 1 through 10. That's gonna kind of get you on the ride as soon as possible, but we'll take 28. We'll take 28. We can spend 2 hours here at Hollywood Studios, right?
Good morning, and thank you for visiting Disney's Hollywood Studios. At this time, boarding groups for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance are full. We plan to reopen the virtual queue at 2 p.m. to fill additional boarding groups.
You should always try for 10 a.m. 2 p.m., you don't know how that's gonna go. 2 p.m. is like the leftovers. I've only been successful in getting a boarding group for 2 p.m. one time. I just think it's too big of a risk. If you're really here, you really, really need to ride Rise of the Resistance, 10 a.m. is the way to go, all right? So even if you get a high boarding group number at 10 a.m., at least you've got one, versus at 2 p.m., the chance of not getting anything at all or getting a really, really delayed backup group is much, much higher. And of course, in typical Florida fashion, I have had to remove the sweater because the sun is out and now it's getting progressively hotter and hotter. But hey, I got this pretty cool Star Tours shirt on. I'm excited to enjoy the day. I got my boarding group, so we've got our bag. Boarding groups got to be the first thing you do. You can get your coffee now, you can go to the bathroom now, you can do everything else. You can get in line for whatever ride you want to do. I think the first thing you got to do when you go to Hollywood Studios, whatever time you show up, just sit there and wait for a boarding group. Get that anxiety out of the way so you can enjoy your coffee after you got a group. Look at the line for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This is insane. I think it's a fun ride, but this is definitely something I would ride later in the day, just because everybody dog piles onto this ride first thing in the morning, and you get a big old line like this. This way here, this is the way that I like to walk in to Galaxy's Edge. The Toy Story Land entrance is just a little busy. You have to walk through the crowded Toy Story Land. I like this, and to me, this feels like the main official entrance into the world of Batuu. We have arrived. We have returned, rather, to Batuu. Bright suns, everybody. And look, we got our first riders of Rise of the Resistance getting in the queue already. It's always very, very busy here in the Rise of the Resistance area. There's guest relations over here. They always have a person here to help people out with boarding group issues, if you've got one. To my knowledge, they aren't able to get you a boarding group. So if you need to add people or exchange or something, I think they're able to help you with that. I know they've been able to add me to boarding groups before, but not make one appear out of thin air. So a cool little fun fact I like about Batuu, and specifically the differences between the two in Disneyland and here in Hollywood Studios, is the way that they're painted. They are painted ever so slightly different. Here in Florida, the sun is harsher, the sun is brighter, so they paint everything in deep and dark colors to, I guess, just look better in the sun or survive the wear and tear of getting washed out a little better, versus in California, you can see the Marketplace building is painted a different shade. I love these carts. I think they're themed so well, and the droids move their heads every so often, but I haven't seen it in a long time. So I think the cart is super cool, and the soda bottles are really fun as a souvenir, but I would never just buy them if I was walking around. I think they're really, really expensive for what they are. I'll get the Dasani. The Dasani's cheaper, and it's a normal size bottle, but I think they're only really good to buy one time as a souvenir. I have one of those Coke grenades at my house, and they're good to give to people. Holy crap, I think I found the Millennium Falcon ride line. It goes all the way into Toy Story Land. And it's only about a 70-minute wait from here, and it honestly might be a little bit shorter. I've tended to notice that the posted wait times are a lot shorter than the actual wait time, but the ride's gonna be here all day. I would honestly recommend when you're here in the morning, use this time to walk around, get some food at Batuu, do some shopping before getting in line for Smuggler's Run. Smuggler's Run is gonna be here all day, and the line gets so much shorter at the end of the day. And for something that I haven't really done in a long time, which is a photo pass here at Disney World, but apparently this one right over here by the entrance to Batuu from Toy Story Land, you can get Baby Yoda in it. So we're gonna find out and see if that's true. I love these plants right by Oga's Cantina. I think these are so cool, especially this one. I'm not a big plant enthusiast or anything, but I always see this one and I'm yeah, this looks like a space plant. So whoever did the plants and the greenery for Galaxy's Edge did a good job with these three in particular. Oh, Oga's Cantina. Hottest club in the galaxy. Everyone's trying to get in all the time. I wish I could give you some advice and tips and tricks for Oga's Cantina, but that is something that even I have not figured out. For some reason, it just feels impossible to get into. I've only been able to get into it once ever since the parks reopened, and I check every single day. I check one person, 4 people, whatever can get me a table any time of day. They say to join the walk-up queue and wait and see if there's a spot, but every time I check, it's always full. And I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's a very, very busy spot. And I know in general it's harder to get spots at the restaurants because there is reduced capacity. They're not able to put in as many people. But dang, man, get me into Oga's. It's pretty darn busy on Batuu today. There are lines for all of the stores, including the Den of Antiquities, which I'm looking to visit because I want to get a good look in there, and there's a lot of really cool details. I've got an arrival window for food at Docking Bay 7 I'm gonna get an early lunch. I always try to eat lunch at the parks a little bit earlier, like around 11 versus 12 or 1 when people usually eat, just because I feel like it's gonna get you in a little bit faster. Everything is mobile order at Disney right now. Like, it feels like sometimes they would like rather die than let you order at the register. So they're always going to be pushing for a mobile order, which makes life a little bit easier. You can be walking around Toy Story Land or something and decide you want to eat here, order your food, and then make your way over here, and they'll get you through pretty darn fast. But it's something to definitely be aware of, is that you're going to need to be using the app. You're going to need to be using your card and stuff like that to go through with mobile orders on here. Got my mobile order ready. Something I think is really cool detail in Docking Bay 7 over here, this crate, it has 80 on there, and you can kind of see that there's a crate up there that says 77. This is the dates of the Star Wars movies. 77 for A New Hope, 80 for The Empire Strikes Back, and then 83, which, I don't know if you can see 83. Yeah, you can see 83 right up there. Return of the Jedi, my personal favorite out of the original trilogy. Ta-da! You know, it is such a beautiful day here in Orlando. It's 69 degrees. I had to sit out here in the outdoor patio of Docking Bay 7. And what's kind of fun is that this exact table, or at least very similar to it, is like the exact table I first sat at when I went to Galaxy's Edge in California on opening day. I had breakfast here, and since they're nearly identical, this is like kind of the same spot. It's fun. You know, I always want to try new things at the parks, but it's nice to have those like little corners where you can remember a memory or a good time or an emotion or nostalgia, you know what I mean? Even though it's not like the exact same spot, it's like an alternate reality spot, like in another park, but you know what I mean, you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, I wanted to show you what we're working with here today. I've got some food here. I like eating at this place. I like this better than most quick service at Hollywood Studios, easy to say. First things first, I got a Gold Squadron lager beer. That's great. It's a gold ale. I like the lighter ales. I like the lighter beers. I'm not like a Guinness guy or anything like that. But it's got a little taste of like lavender and plum is what it says. And I definitely taste that sort of fruity, definitely a little more plummy than lavender. Pretty good, beautiful day. Gotta have a beer if I can't get into Oga's. And then I got the Endorian chicken tip yip, or the tip yip. Tip yip is just chicken in that language. So that says chicken chicken. Endorian chicken chicken. It's very good. I love the sauce that they use. I like the mashed potatoes, and I like the weird shape of it. A pretty simple dish for a simple guy like me. I think I'm gonna say something that maybe a lot of people might not agree with, but I enjoy Ronto wraps quite a bit. But I think if you want a good food experience here at Galaxy's Edge, you are better off just getting food at Docking Bay 7. Like, Ronto wraps, like, they're good. Don't get me wrong. But I think, like, the pita or the bread that they use for them is so dry and like, it just gets all over your fingers and, like, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I like the sauce. That peppercorn sauce that they put on those sausages or whatever, the pork and all that, it's a great combination. But I think overall, if you really want to, like, sit down and enjoy your food, go to Docking Bay 7. I think the chicken is great. I love the salad. I've heard really, really great things about the pork roast. The spear's pretty great. I'm having a pretty solid time. This courtyard area here is also a really, really great spot to like sit down and have your food or have your drink. It's kind of open to anybody right now, or at least it was open to anybody right now. I'm sure that when it's like busier and they need more seats for Docking Bay 7, they'll close this off. But if you get a Ronto wrap, if you really, really want one and you want to sit down and have some food like at an actual table, this is available.
But now that the queue for Doc Ondars is pretty darn low, I'm gonna pop in and see what they got.
So this is actually super, super interesting. The Legacy lightsabers over here, if you want to go up to the table and browse and hold one and stuff like that, since it did move from Savi's workshop, you actually have to get a reservation right outside the Den of Antiquities. So I got into the queue just to like look at everything in the store, but if you want to see the lightsabers specifically, you got to get a virtual reservation. Interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I prefer Doc Ondars like this, not having anybody in it. I think it makes a much better, much more enjoyable experience. I enjoy coming into Doc Ondars to look at everything, but I will say that this store is definitely for like the hardcore Star Wars fan with a lot of money. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in here, but I don't think I'm interested in buying a $400 artwork of Admiral Thrawn from Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, this store definitely is the store that has the most Star Wars references to the books and the stories and the movies and things like that. Just like back on this wall, there's a bunch of different weapons that a lot of different characters have used. I think Princess Leia's blaster or Han Solo's blaster is up here. There's the Mandalorian's helmet. There's that like sniper rifle / poker that he uses to fight people with, all hanging up on the wall as well. But I think my personal one, which is really random to me, is right over here on this corner. There is a golden statue bust of a Gungan's head, which I'm assuming is Jar Jar Binks' head. Something cool you can kind of see as well right over here, that sort of blue glowing triangle. This was this thing they did in Star Wars Celebration where they got all the fans, they got to go inside and say, hey, tell us what Star Wars means to you, and they recorded it and video and stuff like that. And I guess all of that data, they put that on that crystal over there, what looks like a giant holocron, and they have it here in the park. So I think that's a really, really cool thing. And if you are a Star Wars fan who visited Star Wars Celebration and got to leave your message, it lives on here in Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. And I also think it doesn't exist in Disneyland. I think this is the only one here in Orlando, so that makes it extra cool. Oh, I think
Doc Ondar is taking a nap right now. Well, he seems like a pretty busy guy. I don't blame him. He's back. More cool space plants in a really cool space planter that looks like a engine for an airplane or something. It's time to visit Rise of the Resistance, 1235. They called us over. Woo, woo, woo.
It's funny, today I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a boarding group for the video just to show people how I get one, and I don't really need to ride the ride. But then I'm like, well, I have the boarding group, I might as well ride, because they're gonna put me in there by myself, and it's an awesome experience like that, so let's head towards Rise of the Resistance.
Here we go.
Now, whether or not there's like a specific time you should show up for your boarding group, I don't really know. They're calling groups all the time, and to my understanding, they're designing it so that you're only waiting 20 to 30 minutes once you get into the actual queue. So I would just say, once your group gets called, drop everything, head towards Rise of the Resistance so you can get in line at the very least. Because if the ride breaks down, at least you're in line.
You see, this is what you want to see when you show up for your boarding group. Empty queues like this. Let's see how long we actually end up waiting. What would happen if I...
Please keep your face covering on at all times, except when actively eating or drinking. Please keep...
Not bad. Almost 10 minutes.
Oh man, that Stormtrooper room is super, super cool. I gotta say, you have to be ready to do what you want to do in that room. So if you want to take pictures, be ready, because you're gonna get like a minute in there tops. They really, really don't like people hanging around in there. And like, you can't tell because like the First Order's like kind of mean already, and you don't know if they're like actually being mean or just like trying to like act mean, but you only have a limited amount of time in that room, so just be ready to do what you need to do when you're in there.
Hey, you're not authorized. Wait, those are the prisoners.
Lieutenant Beck!
Never gets old. And look at this. You're not going to be able to ride Rise of the Resistance by yourself for very much longer. So I'm glad, I'm very, very grateful that I get to have these experiences because it is awesome. Rise of the Resistance. It's a good time. Gotta love it. Let's see, it's about 1:15-ish now. I'm usually getting to that point of the day where I just head home. I've pretty much done everything I wanted to do here at Galaxy's Edge, except for shopping. The line for the marketplace is really, really long, and I wanted to show you some cool things that I think are really standout and worthy souvenirs here at Galaxy's Edge, but it's really, really long. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna switch things up a bit. We are gonna head to Disney Springs because there is a brand new store that is selling Galaxy's Edge merchandise outside of Batuu, which is like, uh-oh.
And as I'm getting ready to leave Hollywood Studios, I can see the boarding groups. They're loading 30 to 39. at about 1:38. So that's not too bad. Not a bad day for Rise of the Resistance, I think.
Goodbye, Hollywood Studios. It was fun. I'm glad I got to visit today, but now we're heading on over to Disney Springs. Let's go.
I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to get it.
All right, we have made it to Disney Springs. Nice mask, Minnie.
And look, it's fall at Disney Springs. Fall into magic.
Let's see, where is that store? The Star Wars store, I think, is right around the corner this way. All right, here it is, the Star Wars trading post. But the entrance is actually around the corner, so we're almost there, almost there. All right. Okay, this is pretty cool.
All right. Galaxy's Edge store here in Disney Springs. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I will say, I am a little disappointed. I thought they would have the legacy lightsabers here. I thought you'd be able to buy them. I saw that they had a store in Disneyland in California that you're able to buy the lightsabers outside of the park. Not quite the case here. You can get crystals, but you can't get the actual lightsabers. What I am glad that they have, though, is it seems like they have a lot of the merchandise from the Resistance store that's closed right now by the Rise of the Resistance ride, including this jacket, which would have been nice to have this morning, but I don't need it anymore. But maybe one day I'll get to wear this jacket. Oh well. For the most part, Galaxy's Edge has some really cool merchandise. For souvenirs and stuff like that, I'm not really a big fan of like Walt Disney World or Black Spire Outpost on a t-shirt and stuff like that. I try not to wear that kind of stuff, or I don't really like those as souvenirs. What I like, especially with Galaxy's Edge, is I think they do such a good job at creating items that feel like they're from the world, from Batuu. So like, for example, something that I would love giving people as gifts are these little dolls that you can normally get at the toy store. You can get them here at Disney Springs. So you can get Wata, Lando, on the other side is Rey and Kylo Ren and stuff like that. But they have these, they're all really cute, and they look like they were made by the citizens of Batuu for the Toydarian Toymaker store. I think these souvenirs are much more effective gifts than just like a pin or a shirt that says Batuu on it or something like that, of course, but you know, you like what you like, right? Regarding these toys, though, they don't have Baby Yoda here. They've got Old Man Yoda as a doll, but not like the Baby Yoda. So just be mindful of that. It looks like you're going to have to be inside Galaxy's Edge to try and get the Baby Yoda doll.
They have these little statues here of these Jedi for $20 each. That's actually pretty cool, and they're kind of heavy, so like I think that's actually a really good value if you're a big Star Wars fan. But they're not like any specific characters that I think you would recognize. They're just supposed to be Jedi, all as the Force wills it. But these guys over here, though, these are Jedi. Here, I'm going to see if I remember their names. Obviously, that's Obi-Wan, Plo Koon, Shakti, and Barriss Offray, I think.
Or I could use all the money in my checkings account right now to buy the $750 Kylo Ren helmet. Maybe, don't tempt me. Let's go. All right. All in all, a pretty cool store. I was in there and I was like, you know what? This is a really cool idea for people who, one, can't get a reservation at Hollywood Studios, or if you just don't want to go through all the hubbub of getting there and driving and parking and going through and getting in line for the marketplace. It takes a long time. So that is a really cool store. I heard they might be selling those lightsabers sooner rather than later, so I might have to come back and check that out because I feel like I want to buy a lightsaber because I am financially irresponsible during a global pandemic. Oh, you know me, baby. If you're wondering if I bought anything inside the Star Wars Trading Post, I didn't. I went to the Marketplace Co-op instead and bought some candles. One smells like Flight of Passage and the other smells like fall leaves. How could I resist?
Let's see. Here at the left-handed store, trying these left-handed pens and pencils. I don't know.
Are you satisfied? I'm satisfied. Are you satisfied? Because I'm satisfied. That was a pretty satisfying day. I had a great time at Galaxy's Edge. It was actually a really easy day at Galaxy's Edge, I'd have to say. It was fun to pop into Disney Springs and check out the brand new Star Wars store. This was a nice day. 2020 ain't over yet, so do your best to have as many good days as possible before 2021 comes, and hopefully 2021 is like, oh, it just makes everything better for everybody. You know what I mean? I would say that I had a pretty darn good day here, and I hope you guys had fun hanging out with me, but Apart from that, really, that's all I got. So hey, thank you guys for watching Vincent Vision. Please be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Watch some more of my videos. I hope you guys enjoyed my little insights in Galaxy's Edge, my favorite place to spend time at Disney World. There are a million more things I could have said, but hopefully some of the things I shared with you guys help you guys out on your trip, or just maybe show you something that you hadn't seen before. And that Star Wars store is awesome. If you're in Disney Springs and you're trying to get some Star Wars merchandise, or just want to feel the energy that comes from looking at merchandise from a specific area of a park, you can go to that store, you'll get that feeling. But thank you guys for watching, and may the Force be with you. May the be with you. May the fart. That was pretty funny, right? Why did I do that? That was like, there's so like immature. Whatever. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go home now. Bye bye. It's a beautiful day.